at that time, there were some good teams in the Northeast Conference. Leagues ebb and flow, but at that time, to sweep those three was very, very impressive. All of Donner's Red Flash teams were built around a nucleus of outstanding distance runners. And as Brian mentioned, a number of members of that team, important members of that team, are in attendance here tonight. Donner worked his distance runners so hard that sometimes the members of his men's team did not even have enough time in the day to shave. And you can ask Jeff Eisen. Kevin was rightfully recognized by his peers during his 5-year run here at St. Francis, earning Northeast Conference Coach of the Year honors 7 times. And tonight, he is deservedly recognized as one of the top coaches in St. Francis sports history with his induction into our school's Athletics Hall of Fame. Please join me in welcoming to the stage Kevin Donner. St. Francis is proud to honor Kevin Donner with induction into the university's Athletics Hall of Fame on Saturday, August 8, 2015.
Actually here 6 years. 1995 to 2001. That's okay. About that. I heard a few stories about Bob Hahn, although it's not in my script. As you know, he worked the golf course, and as the cross-country coach, we would do workouts on the golf course, and Bob was nice enough to allow me to use a golf cart. Follow our men and women around for some intervals, and until one day I flipped it in his flower bed, and then he banned me for a couple weeks, and then I talked him into, we had a pretty big meet coming up, and I used that golf cart again. He was nice enough to give it back to me, so never forget that about Bob. But also, being a track coach, I was told, or got an email about, try to keep it around 5 minutes, and we're time-oriented people as track and field coaches. So, let's go. I want to congratulate all the other Hall of Famers. Great honor. I want to congratulate the two athletes that I was fortunate enough to be with, Lindsay Steffen, who was with her for 1 year, and of course Brian Sell. They were the faces of the track and field and cross-country program at the time. About 20 years ago this week is when I got offered the position at St. Francis. I'm originally from Detroit, Michigan, never lived out of state, made the trek to the Pines here, and Pennsylvania is a great place, and St. Francis is a great place. I have a lot of people to thank here, so I'm going to thank a few people, also tell you a little bit about the dynamic and culture of our program. I had 2 very good athletic directors. A guy named Frank Pergolizzi called me up and offered me the position. Frank Pergolizzi was very instrumental in making the coaching positions full-time. With the exception of basketball, all the coaches for previous years were part-time coaches. They all had other jobs, and it was more of a hobby. And Pergolizzi felt it was important that the coaches be full-time, give them benefits, make that their career rather than their hobby. So I felt as though he was very instrumental in building a lot of the athletic programs here at St. Francis. A few years later, Jeff Eisen became the athletic director here, and I knew Jeff back in my Detroit days. He actually worked at the University of Detroit Mercy, and he came in and was able to help increase some resources. He was very instrumental in laying the groundwork for what eventually became a beautiful track and field facility and football stadium, and he also helped create some assistant coaching positions. So I think that really helped elevate a lot of the programs here, especially our track and field and cross-country program. Had some great assistant coaches, very loyal people. They did not do it for the money, they did it for the love of the student athletes, for the love of track and field and cross country, for the love of St. Francis. Many of them are here today. My first one was Michael Adams. He just walked in my office and said, Coach Donner, I'm tired of being an engineer. I want to be a teacher and a coach. And we created a GA position. And now he's a very successful coach at Altoona, where they won a couple state titles recently. Don originally was a successful coach at Central Cambria. By the way, when I went out recruiting, I wasn't just looking for student athletes. I was looking for potential coaches, actually, when I went out recruiting. And I saw Donna had won, 20 district titles in a row or whatever at Central. I got to get her on my staff, and just a lot of debating. I got her to commit to St. Francis, and she did an outstanding job helping coach our sprinters and our hurdlers. And she's actually, is back here now with her program. A guy named Wayne Sherlock was coach at Johnstown Voltech and had a real small, program, but he was doing wonders with them. Got him on my staff. Really great rapport with our guys and ladies, the distance runners, and he's now the principal at Northern Bedford, and was very instrumental in getting Brian Sell to come to St. Francis. Mario Wilson, he's not here, was a great assistant coach, one of the best field event coaches in the country. He did an outstanding job here at St. Francis. Also coached with me at Bucknell. He is now at the University of Virginia after spending time at Clemson and numerous All-Americans, some Olympians. Fantastic coach. Doug Hoover was the last person I actually hired before I left, and he's now the head coach here at St. Francis. There's no doubt in my mind he's going to do great things here. And last but not least, the late Alan Bachman. He was, I believe, the very first academic coordinator here for athletics, and also volunteered his services to help us. And unfortunately, was passed away a few years ago. I was walking through the Stokes today, and I went in the back for the reception. They had pictures of all the championship teams that St. Francis ever had. I counted 21 of them for track and field and cross country between the years 1997 and 2009, I believe. 21 over a 12-year period. And I thought to myself, that's a dynasty. That is the golden era of track and field. And so many great athletes during that time. I was fortunate to be there for the first 5. And then Coach Scott Catone followed me. He's here. And he did a great job, keeping the program rolling. A few defining moments. My very first team here, 1995-96. A lot of transition. They had gone through a few different coaches and got here, and we needed to change some culture. And a few people stick in my mind here that I called up right when I got the call from Bob Crinnell. Bob McDonald was a senior on my first team. Really an ally, bid in, did a great job for us. And Bob, I know you're here, those 21 championships, you weren't a part of it, but in my opinion, you got things rolling. People bid in. Cheryl Sissio was a freshman, was a sophomore on that team. And she was a part of our first championship team her junior year, 1997. And she got the women's team to bite in and was part of that first championship. And a few other people showed up today. Sean Brady. People talked to me about a distance coach. I was a throws coach too when I was here. We had some pretty darn good throwers. And Sean Brady was one of my first. And it's a great honor to have him here. And then Matt Ortega, one of my first throwers, played football, good javelin guy. He married Corey Ward, who was also on that team, my very first team, and helped elevate our program. Some other defining moments. We won 2 championships in a row in men's cross country, 99 and 2000. You heard about that 2000 team, cross country. We won the NEC. At the time, we were the greatest NEC team ever. And in my opinion, no other NEC team has come close to that team. We were nationally ranked. We went to a meet in October of 2000. And in the same meet, we beat Michigan, Washington, UCLA, Florida, Pitt, Purdue, and Tennessee, all in one meet. A few weeks later at the NCAA Regional Championship, we beat Penn State. And so it really put us on the map. But I think what I'm most proud of, like Brian Sell said, we won some track and field titles that year as well. We had a very balanced team, sprints, hurdles, jumps, throws, and distance, obviously. And winning those titles without a track at the time. We did not have a track and field facility, yet our people never use that as an excuse. So we had a lot of tremendous athletes here who were very dedicated. We took a very blue collar approach. We took the do more with less attitude. And a lot of our men and women kind of had a chip on their shoulder, and it really showed. But with that said, what I'm most proud of is the friendships that they formed. A lot of them are here. They did have a lot of fun. I'm not going to talk about some of the things that Brian might have mentioned. We'll save that for the Loretto Pub and Grill. But this is also where I met my wife. My wife is an alum of St. Francis. She taught in the math department. And we met right at the end of my tenure here. But I've been coaching for 30 years now. And she's been with me, for about half that now. And she's kept me grounded in this sport of track and field, cross country where you're a coach. We spend a lot of time on the road. We actually spend a lot of time taking care of other people's kids rather than my own. But Amy, I love you. Love having you as a wife. So, my daughter Jilly is going to be 9 in a few weeks. She's very athletic. After being at 80 or 90 track meets, she's either going to love or hate track. So I have a special place in my heart here at St. Francis. My 30 years of coaching, I spent 6 here, and I consider those 6 years to be kind of the defining years of my coaching career. And I also want to tell people, young people, some of the coaches who are here now, the sky's the limit. I'm very impressed with the leadership here at St. Francis. The upgraded facilities are fantastic. That track is incredible. I really like the fact that it's in a beautiful part of the country. This campus is one of the most beautiful campuses in the country. Just walk around, the landscape. And also the small school atmosphere, the professors. I got to know a lot of professors here. One of the few schools I've been at where the professors really get to know the student athletes. And I think there's a lot of selling points at St. Francis. I wouldn't hesitate to send my daughter here. So I hope everyone has a great evening, and go Red Flash. Thank you.